school na tulay sa Carmona. Punta natin yung rugby. Tingnan natin kung...
Kasi marami tayong mga kababayan na nahuhook ngayon sa pagrarugby.
Afam, pati mga
afam.
Tingnan natin kung bagay talaga sa Pinoy ang larong rugby.
Kadalasan mga kababaihan nga nagrarugby.
Dahil International Women's Day. Balance for better. Tingnan natin.
Malalaman natin ngayon kung talagang quality ba talaga mag-rugby.
Ano bang klaseng satisfaction nakukuha sa pag-rugby?
Solb ba?
Solb! Yun! Solb ba pag nag-rugby?
So my name's Nick Jones. Do you want me looking at this or just talking to you?
It's up to you.
Yeah?
You want to look here and then you can look
right,
for us.
Right.
It's like a casual conversation.
All right, yeah. My name's Nick Jones. I'm the captain of the Nomads Rugby Club. We're the oldest club in the Philippines. The sports club itself actually started back in like 1914, so it's a 100-year-old club. Been a massive institution here in the Philippines. The rugby actually started in the 1970s. So we were the only club in the Philippines for a long time, and the only teams we would play are basically have imagine like a Navy would come into port, like the Australian Navy would come in, they would have a rugby team on board and we just play against them, or we would go to abroad to like some tournaments in Vietnam, Bangkok and all of that, and those were all good fun, but there was never really kind of like a local presence of rugby before us. Then one of our members broke off and started a new club, and that's the Alabang Eagles, and that happens to be the team we're playing today. And they've been our main rival ever since. That started about sometime in the 1990s. And since then we've had clubs popping up all over the Philippines, from Luzon all the way down to Mindanao, and there's about 20 clubs now in the Philippines since the 90s. So it's been growing really, really fast. Basic structure, it's 15 players against 15. This is union, rugby union. There are different versions around, like sevens rugby and all of that. But the one we're playing today is 15s union rugby. And you basically have to get the ball all the way to the opposition side of the field, and you're trying to score into their zone. So it's a little bit like American football, where you get into the zone, but then you have to put the ball down to score. The other team does everything they can in their power to stop you, and so that's why it's very brutal and violent, because you're tackling each other, you're smashing each other, and you're trying to rip the ball away from everyone. There are a lot of intricate rules in between that keep it fair and make sure you don't like lose an eye or stuff like that. But the general premise is you do everything in your power to not let the other team get into your zone, and then when you get the ball, you do everything in your power to get over there. So it's a proper battle between 15 guys. I like almost think of it as kind of if you join the army, right? Like it's brutal, but afterwards everyone's brothers. So like there's the violence, but it makes the socials and the camaraderie afterwards really, really strong. Kind of made sure that at least our club is really, really focused on the social side as much as the on-field stuff. So we always have like a party after the games and things like that, and I think that's something that draws a lot of our members to the club. Is we like to have a lot of fun too. Some of our teammates over here. This is my brother Rob, and the future captain of the Nomads, Aaron Pritchard.
Hi.
We're just doing a little interview. No worries. Yeah, catch up with you boys in a bit.
Captain, fantastic.
Here we have like a VIP setup for barbecue, free-flowing drinks. Over there we've got all the teams in a barbecue setup. So it's supposed to just be like a big social atmosphere as well. That's why we try and set up these kinds of events, just to bring more culture, because some of the other clubs are brand new. They don't really have the advantage of having a lot of people coming from overseas to teach them about all the extracurricular stuff that comes with rugby, because it's really not just about the sport. We call the drinking after the game the third half. So yeah, it's just as important. Yeah.
So how do you encourage Filipinos to play this sport? What are the benefits? And
that's a really good question. So there's been a huge push to bring more Filipinos into the sport. It actually is one of the fastest growing sports in the world right now. In the US, it is the #1 fastest growing sport. There's a ton of money being pushed into it right now, and the Philippines actually is in a very special place where we have all these young, fit people around, and but the problem is most of them are into basketball, and like, to be honest, it's very difficult to succeed in basketball when you're built like a Filipino. Yeah. But I would say in rugby, especially in seven circuit, which is 7 players against 7, where it's more important to be fast. Then the Philippines has been very successful in sevens rugby. So right now they actually just qualified for a tournament called the Hong Kong Sevens, and that's like the biggest sevens tournament in the world. It was the first one ever, and so for them to be there is like, that's like getting into the World Cup or something for soccer. It's huge event, and so to see that happening and seeing more and more Filipinos coming in into the sport, I think it's only going to grow and be more and more popular. To convince new guys to come in, we always tell them, like, this is a sport where you don't have to be the most athletic guy in the world. You don't have to be the fastest guy in the world. You just have to be brave, and we'll find a position for you, because of the 15 positions on the field, there's some guys who have to be small and fast, there's some guys who have to be big and strong, and there's a huge range in between. So it's literally a game for all body types, all ages. Our team right now, we've got guys who are in their 30s, 40s, and we've also got kids who are 16, 17. So it's really a huge range. As long as you've got the mentality for it and you're willing to take a risk, most people, we have a really high retention rate. Like, most people stick around like after their first game. Met us 6 months ago. We didn't have a women's team. It only really started kind of the back half of last year. So they played their first sevens game in October, and they played their first 15s game in February. So this is their second 15s game ever, and we're still learning the game, but it's really inspiring to see these girls who really come from a huge range of backgrounds, right? Actually, most of our girls are Filipino. Only a handful of expats, but you see these girls from like all over the place, and now they're pretty much like sisters. It's really been inspiring to see how close they've become over just the last 6 months or so. And you know, sometimes they take a beating on the field because they're new, but afterwards you'll see like all their eyes are lit up. They're really excited about the game, and they can't wait to go and do the party afterwards. So it's growing really quickly, and it's been really great to see women take on this challenge where usually it's seen as more as a men's kind of field, but these girls took a risk, and I think they've been loving it.